Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, and if I'm not playing with my hair, I'm playing with my hat. So, welcome back to the channel where we're continuing our top 6 fan favorite episodes of The Expanse leading up to Season 4 so that people can get a little bit of pumped up feeling inside them, ready to go instead of just binge watching it. Feel like binge watching it, whatever, who cares? But we are at number 3 on our list. It is Season 2, Episode 13's finale called Caliban's War. Full spoilers if you have not seen this episode before, because we're playing it behind me halfway through the episode. So this is a pretty great, fantastic finale. Again, I had to rewatch one of my old reviews. I had to rewatch Episode 12 that I apparently never made a playlist for. Figure that out. I don't know. I guess maybe I was so busy cranking out videos like I always have that I forgot to make them. So I had to look them up, find them all. It was actually kind of a pain in the ass. So I need to get them in a playlist as soon as I can. And so, because I'm like, I know what's going on, but I forget the context of what previously happened. So it's like I gotta know, otherwise I'm like, where are we at? Well, we start off with the standoff on Mao's ship, where Avasarala, Bobby, and Katjar are all pinned down, and he's, he's shot, and then on the Rossi, uh, he's, Amos is hurt, Holden and Naomi and Prax and Alex are all there, not knowing what's on the ship yet. So everything is just kind of, after they got off of the area where they were trying to kill the creature, a whole lot of stuff went down. A whole lot of stuff went down. And on my previous reviews, I was like, I wasn't too happy about episode 12, some of it. But other stuff like Aaron Wright's move and everything was all really awesome. Really makes me wish that I had made the time to rewatch this. But I mean, it's like, how do I get to rewatch anything with the schedule, like I have? So, it's one of those times where it's like, unless I stop making stuff for a while, I'll never be able to just rewatch anything really, unless in my spare time, which I don't really have that much of. Um, so they decide to patch up the Rossi, which is where they see the shrapnel damage on the door, and no, that's not shrapnel damage because they see the creature. I love the reaction to it. It's legit. It's just like right there in the camera. I say that even though CG is kind of iffy, it's still a really impressive looking and scary creature. It makes me think of games like Dead Space, um, where it's just, this thing is completely crazy looking. So Prax though wants to talk to it, and again Prax, because of his daughter, he doesn't know if this could be her daughter, what happened to her. She's still missing, Strickland and that evil, bastard Mao. Like, which one's worse, Strickland or Mao? I don't know, but he wants to talk to it. But look, he's kind of playing the part of that Ian Holm played as Ash in the first Alien, where it's like, but without the evil connotations. Like, we should talk to it, we should find out, more about it. But it's like, no, man, it's got to go. This thing is a killing machine. It's a weapon, and even if it was your kid, it's not gonna be like Frankenstein's monster where you can talk to it, and maybe work it out. You don't even know what kind of I hate. Well, I don't hate. Stories like this where the parent that's lost a child that puts everybody else at risk. Storylines. Just not being a parent myself, I see things from everybody else's point of view, which is, we got to kill this thing. And what do we have a plan B? Yeah, make sure plan A works. Stephen Strait is he's such a good actor in this. Like I said before in my other reviews, I never thought I'd like him in anything. I still think his hair's a little too perfect. But that's all. When they find the creature though in the holding, the cargo bay, and it rips this thing out of its chest, throws it, and it blows up. It's like the thing that they were like a control device. So they start firing on it. It throws a cargo bay container at Holden, which vacuum seals against Holden's leg, Amos is losing air. Holden tells him, you got to get out of here, right? You got to go. You leave me here. So he leaves him there, and this thing suddenly starts coming to Holden. And it's scary. It's legit scary, man. But suddenly it turns its attention to the floor, where it starts pounding on the floor. And it's not interested in him. It wants the radiation that's in the ship, in the core. And so it's going to rip the ship apart from the inside now. Meanwhile, here with Avasarala, Katya, and Bobby, she checks out the maps and finds out that she can get out of this place. She can get them all out through the ventilation shafts and into the elevator. But they're not all going to make it. And I love Avasarala's like, it's not because I'm old. It's because he's shot. And then he's like, yeah, but she's also really old. Their back and forth is all really great. I mean, it may be a little too great for the situation that they're in, but their back and forth is really, really great, especially because their relationship is kind of difficult. You know, you question his loyalty a little bit. Like, he's got reasons to owe her kid, but his loyalties are tested here. But he tells Bobby, they've got your power armor up there. I brought it with. So she goes, he covers her ass, and she gets into the elevator shaft and makes it to where there's a guy with a button. But it's like they want to negotiate. Also, when back on the Rossi, when Amos is told, you know a lot about how people die. I love that line. Because they're trying to figure out what to do with it. Like, describing if they don't get Holden out of there, his leg is going to, potassium in the blood's going to leak out, and it's going to basically kill him. So they try to come up with ideas about what to do with it. And Amos has this idea that if we seal off the different sections of the ship, since this was built for like 20, 30 people, we don't need all this oxygen. So we seal up those areas, we put the pressure out and suck it out through the doors. We blow the doors, the pressure will blow the doors out and blow this thing out with it, and Holden as well. So it's like a zero-sum game kind of where, Holden would just have to sacrifice himself. He knows the score. It's like what Miller did, He doesn't want to die, but it's either him or everybody. And it's a pretty good idea. I mean, it sucks for Holden. And then we get like the story about the guys, Turby and Janus. They're the guys going into the Venus crater. There's a race to get there between them and Mars to see what's in the crater there. They're going in there to the site of Eros. That's all that really happens there, because there's more to the story that happened in previous episodes. But Alex turns the Rossi off, which immediately the radiation feed goes away, so he starts coming back up to Holden. Well, that means, Alex turns it back on, so we know that's not going to work. And I was trying to think, what does Holden have that a human has that it could possibly want? And I guess it's because don't we actually carry like a very, very low levels of radiation in our bodies that it would be attracted to, it would be able to spot even that small amount. So they, on Mao's ship, they try to say, we're going to settle down so we can talk. We have to wait to talk to Mao. They just want Avasarala, but Avasarala knows that Mao's not going to let her leave there alive. But they tell him, if you leave, just leave us here, her, and you can take the ship. Meanwhile, Bobby is made her way up, and apparently these guys don't have peripheral vision when they walk past her. Because I'm sorry, I even did that myself, where I was like, I tested it, where I walked by and I'm like, I know, like, if you're not really looking, you can still see. And I mean, I don't know, I guess they wouldn't think that anybody's there, but me personally, I guess I'm paranoid. I would have saw her. But whatever, it doesn't matter. So she takes out those guys and she finds a guy that's got his finger on a button saying, if I do this, you guys won't get out of here. Which, okay. But she logics the guy, basically saying, you know, who are you fighting for? This guy's not going to fight for you. If you let me in here, I'll let you go. I like that he's like, fine, but can you rough me up a little bit? Which she's more than happy, it looks like, to do. And when Prax then he has this moment with the plants, where he sees how the plants are reaching towards the light, towards the power source, towards what it feeds them. He has this breakthrough. Meanwhile, Holden has his conversation with Naomi that he didn't have with the girl on the cant, which is, don't do what I did, basically live your life, move on from me. But of course, being this crew, this hardcore crew that sticks together, she doesn't give up. And, you know, we go back to that negotiator who makes a point to Katya, and it is a good point, you know, that a lot of us people, we're the ones who get caught up in these fights. Like, we're the ones who die for these people's bigger fights. And at this point, even like I believe it's right here, she's saying, you know, it's the logical thing to do. It's the, you give up on me, you know, you give up, you know, but make sure if you turn me in, you do something about Aaron right. And they have this good moment together where he's like, look, I don't owe you anything. It's your kid that I owe something to, and I'm going to keep you alive. So, sorry, I've made a lot of videos today. Practice plan to lure. Okay, so Prax comes to them with the plan to take the nuclear warheads that they have on the Rossi. And if they take the warheads out into space and take the core out, it should draw the creature out of the ship, and then they can get rid of it. Which is actually a really interesting idea. You know, how plants are looking for its food source, and this thing is just doing the same. So they take, they get ready to take the nuke out, and then we have Amos and Holden's little conversation where, you know, Amos is so brutally honest, and I love it, and he always talks straight up, like, you know, you made some stupid decisions, but you're always trying to do the right thing. And I maybe I've said this before, but as far as the Amos character goes, I try to be like him in my reviews, where I try to be brutally honest. Like, you're not always going to be everybody's favorite person when you tell them the truth, but that's what's so great about him. So anyway, Christian goes to give up, but Mao's already on the phone, and he's like, well, now that you got him, just kill them all. And she's like, I'm so sorry. And Naomi and Prax go out on the ship, as you're seeing right here. They get the warhead disconnected. It senses this and immediately jumps right out the back of the ship. And we have to have that very intense scene where they even go to commercial. You can see where it fades to black, where he's holding the core in his hands. And Naomi's like, throw it, throw it, throw it. Like, and you're just going, what is really going on in his head? Like, again, is this the whole thing about his daughter again? Like, you came up with this plan, dude. Why are you suddenly, you know, just looking like you're about to shit the bed? So she yells at him, it's not your daughter, and he still waits. And I think that he just really, I would like to believe that he just was really waiting for the very last moment to make sure it worked. I think that maybe he just didn't want to do it and fail. You fail here, it's all over. This thing's going to probably, you know, rip you apart. So he waits till the very last second to throw it. And when he does, this thing jumps after it like Gollum after the One Ring in Lord of the Rings, man. Like, it's just like, ah, my precious. And grabs it into space. Starts floating off into space. So when that works, they immediately hit the engines. They turn around, and this thing, like, that's holding it, almost like Gollum with the ring, right? He's like sitting there kind of holding it, not really doing anything with it. Maybe it's just how it feeds, like it just internally starts to suck the radiation into its own body. So they flip it around and they torch it with the engines of the Rossi. and then boom, no more proto-molecule creature. But um, then as soon as this thing dies, we cut back to Venus, right? Where it's like at the moment that proto-molecule creature actually died, something happens on Venus, and the Mars ship just disappears. And then the Venus ship people, they don't know what's going on. And did anybody else notice that that's the guy from, one of the guys that working on that ship is from Mythbusters, I think? But anyway, here's the creature getting blown up. So Naomi, like everything seems to be all right with the world. Naomi starts having this conversation to Holden, like that no more secrets, but I still have one left. And over this this speech, we see Bobby's got into her power armor, and she starts taking out all of Mao's guys and saving Avasarala, saving Katyar, who's still got a bad gunshot wound, and that's where that part of the story ends for the season for them. They've gotten away, stopped. See, isn't that the guy from Mythbusters, sister? But over that, we find out, because she says, no weapon ever brings peace. It completely takes apart the ship and Venus. So basically, at the exact same time, so like the proto-molecules, the Mars ship disappears, the proto-molecules start showing up in their ship, and it completely disseminates the ship to like the screws. Like every little bit of the ship is taken apart. But not the people. They're just sitting there floating over Venus, dying probably from very quickly from how far up they are, the atmosphere, whatever. Maybe there's still a little bit of oxygen that was in the ship that's somehow still floating there, that they can still kind of look around for a minute before they obviously die. And at least they're looking around kind of amazed that they're experiencing this moment that nobody's ever seen before. I mean, it's the last thing they're ever going to see. But I mean, if you gotta go and you don't have a choice, that's a pretty crazy way to go. Like, well, your last moments are seeing something nobody has ever seen, nor will probably ever see again, at least in this fashion. So those poor guys, it was like I don't know, you could call it a fool's errand doing what they were doing, but I mean, that's just what people do, right? The thing went down there and somebody was going to go. And so we find out, though, that after this happens, that Naomi had that proto-molecule sample. And she says that Earth has a sample now, and Mars has a sample now, and the belt deserves to have a sample too, because they're just going to use it against us, eventually. They're using it against each other, so we should have our own kind of, like, trump card as well. And that's when she tells Holden that instead of shooting it into the sun, she gave it over to Fred Johnson, who, is looking at it, and like Fred Johnson's a very, I don't know, like I trust his character. He's always done the right thing. He's not the person that they've made him out to be, this boogeyman that they tried to make him out to be in season one. Like when we found out what really happened with Fred Johnson, we know that like he's really looking out for the best interest for the belt. But all these conversations we have, Mars is only looking out for Mars, Earth is only looking out for Earth, and belt is looking after the belt. And what they really need is somebody, somehow to bring them all together. But that's like, we can't even get that together now on this planet. So it maybe, because like Naomi says, it's always war, always some new thing. We just keep upping the ante and upping the ante and upping the ante. So it's like basically kind of mutual assured destruction. And that at least the belt will have its own way of fighting back and killing her, like, but I mean, it makes sense. And it is a betrayal. But she did what she thought she had to do, and now she'll have to face the consequences in season 3. And then the very last bit of this episode is finding out that Strickland guy still has Prax's daughter in some sort of like stasis sleep in a storage container with a whole bunch of other storage containers, probably filled with more kids. And that's where we end the episode. And it's just freaking crazy. This is a crazy finale. This is not like, now, as far as big events go, like the ship coming apart and the creature getting off the ship feeling very much like Alien, very intense, very unexpected, like a lot of twists and things happen like on every good Expanse episode or every good episode of television. This is not as good as episode 5, but again, this is just the beginning of the second arc of the story. So even though this is like a season finale, there's still so much more story to go into season 3, where we talk about the bridge that starts growing from Venus. And so it's fantastic, and I can't wait to do the next episode. I forget which one I'm doing for season 3, so that'll be, we've only got 2 left. So we got 2 episodes now to cover from season 3, and our top 6 fan favorite episodes. Again, like I said, I'm sorry that this wasn't an actual poll, but it is. These episodes are taken from what is known to be fans, 6 of the favorite episodes of the fans. It's gonna, everybody's gonna have their own different takes on it. That's why next time I hope we can do this proper. Maybe when, like I said, if we get a season 5, I'll definitely make more time so that the actual community can get involved instead of just a couple of us trying to make this decision for all of you. So, and maybe we'll even be able to do more episodes. Maybe we'll be able to do like top 10 or, best of each season again. I don't know. But anyway, I hope you guys are liking these. I hope these are better than the original reviews that I gave. I haven't rewatched episode 13's review yet. Rewatched it, so, because like I said, I don't get to rewatch much. And if you made it this far with me rambling now, if you like this review, please hit the like button. Hit the like button if you like this. If you're not a subscriber, please become a subscriber to the channel. We've passed 1,000 and we're growing still. It's amazing. So come be a part of that. Don't wait for season 4 to start, which we will be starting the day it comes out. I still haven't decided if I'm only doing 1 a week or maybe 2. I don't know if I'll be able to hold out. I'm like you guys, thinking about it. The closer it gets to being here, the more I'm like, man, how am I going to turn it off? How am I going to be able to stop myself from not watching it and watching it and watching it? But I've also got a schedule to keep on my channel, so we'll see. So maybe it'll be 2 a week, maybe it'll be 3 a week, maybe it'll just be 1 every other day. I don't know. Either way, so hit the bell for all notifications. Share these. This is one of the most important things. More as much as likes and subscribes are great, so is sharing it, that we can grow the audience. 'Cause that's the one thing is I keep hearing about how many people love this show, and then I don't know. But you can find me on Twitter at reviews_gun. If you feel so inclined, you can donate to the channel at paypal.me/smirkinggunreviews. It's in the description of the video. There's also a Patreon page under Smirking Gun Reviews. So anyway, we'll be back tomorrow with number 2 on our list of fan favorites. This one will be from season 3. And this is Rob saying have a great day, and we will see you on the next Expanse video. Bye.